Here we go. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the class. Listen, for those who are looking at this recording, I forgot to turn on recording immediately. You've only missed a couple minutes. I'm just going through the main page and talking about the things we're going to be doing, making sounds, using Unity on the web, stuff like that. And you'll see it all because we're going to go through the syllabus in a second, right? So there we go. Generally try to remind me to turn on recording because I usually forget. And then like halfway through, it's like, and you'll have to do this. You know, kind of jumping in. Anyhow, now I decided here to collect a bunch of links for the software that you might need to use for this class. You won't need to use all of these. And in fact, I'm going to show you a better place to get the links because this is going to be the first, probably the only assignment we'll really make for you guys. So we'll look at that in a second, okay? Yeah, guest speakers are going to be coming in. We might have to rearrange the schedule a little bit. We'll see how that goes. Now, here's the sad part, okay? The facilities. The thing that you maybe by the end of the term will be able to give you access to it, but we have a number of VR rigs at the Computer Music Center that you can go in and you can use. You know, you can use an Oculus, you can put on an HTC Vive, you know. Right now, you can't have access to those because we simply cannot find a way to really disinfect them appropriately to keep people and students safe from COVID. That was sort of handed down from the university. So unfortunately, if you want to do some work in Prentice, like if you need to record something, you know, for the project you're working on in the class or something like this, you'll have to get in touch with me, and I'll probably put you in touch with Seth Cluett, who's coordinating a lot of that. Nina can actually reserve a room for you, you know, if you want to go in and do some work in the studio or something like that. So you can be in touch with her about that. But again, you'll have to abide, of course, by the Columbia rules, which means you have to have your COVID tests up to date and all that stuff, you know. Again, I expect this will evolve. I expect it will evolve slowly. We're still in for a few months of pretty bad things, I think, because even with the vaccine out there, it takes a month plus 2 weeks or so before people who have the vaccine actually have the antibodies. So, you know, it's not going to be instantaneously wonderful, as you all know. Yeah, so this unfortunately is not as big a deal this semester as it would like to be. What I can promise you, though, in light of this being kind of shut off and us being virtual right now, even though we're going to be doing virtual Unity, at the end of the term, you know, if everything is kind of coming back to normal and we can allow like unfettered access to the CMC, and you'd like to come in even after classes have ended and try out your project and see how it works with the full immersion 3D, we'll set that up for you, okay? Because that's an experience worth having. It's really a lot of fun. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, okay? I'll skip to syllabus for now. Contact information, send us email, you know. Obviously, I won't have office hours or anything like that, but I'll set up a Zoom time and we can chat. You know, if you're having any difficulties or any questions, or you have some ideas you just want to talk over, you know, we're here, and that's what we do. Do bear in mind, like I said, Nina is in Osaka right now, and you know, that's about an 11-hour difference from New York, I think. Something
14.
like that. Yeah, 13. Okay, and I'm in Whidbey Island off the coast of Seattle, and that's a 3-hour difference. And in fact, that makes sure a 17-hour difference from me. So it's bizarre. So if you send an early morning text or something to me, I'm not going to answer it right away. Just kind of be aware of that. So, and we'll try and do the vice versa there too. Okay, yeah. Security and access policy, we already talked about that. Okay, grades, again, you know, final project, yeah. If you're worried about your grade, talk to me. You shouldn't be worried about your grade. Again, the only thing to worry about is if you have to miss a significant number of these classes, then you're going to be in trouble. Get in touch with me if there's something going on and I need to know about it, or Nina, you know, because yeah, that's the only thing that can really knock you down here. Okay. Alrighty. By the way, if anybody has any questions as I'm going through this, just jump in. I can only see like 5 of you when I'm in the screen share. So let's go to the syllabus and look at that, okay? Couple of mailing lists you might want to join that are pretty good. Yeah, this is where we also have announcements, like if the studio is in flames or something, you can find that out there. This is pretty, it's not that active, you know, if you have questions about it, it's pretty good, all right? So what's going to happen is after every week, these will turn into links, and the links will contain the video of the class. It will contain any projects that you can download that we've worked up in a class, any patches, any scripts for RTC mix and things like that. So you'll be able to click on them, and week 1, I'll click on that, okay? And up here, it'll say video of this class, and that will contain probably tomorrow. It takes a while to upload this. I put these on YouTube, by the way, because that adapts to your bandwidth nicely. And you can also play them back at twice speed, which makes them a lot less boring. So that's kind of fun. Plus, you get to hear me talk like this. It's really fun. Okay. Oh, that will sound fun at twice speed. Anyhow, so I said we have an assignment for next time. I want you to download and install some version of RTC Mix, okay? I'm going to recommend that you use this RTC Mix tilde object, okay? That works within Max MSP or within PD. We have objects for both. The PD one is a little bit brittle, but you know, if we run into problems with it, I'll try and help out with it. PD, of course, is pure data. That's Miller Puckett's thing that he wrote after Max MSP at IRCOM. The reason is because we work up our audio scripts like that, and they allow us to look at the interactivity of the scripts. So if we have a script where we want the music to change as we get closer to an object in Unity, to do that in Unity is difficult because you have to recompile the whole project and things like that. What you can do is work up the script in Max MSP or PD with a slider representing the distance to the object, and then you build the audio interactivity you want. Then you can take the script and simply port it into Unity, and it works. So this is actually not a bad way to kind of work. So RTC Mix shell will just run the scripts. It doesn't have the interactivity part of it, okay? I should also point out that if you've got a Windows machine, okay, you can also run RTC Mix under this thing called Windows Subsystem for Linux, which is pretty astounding. I'm not a big Windows fan, although I'm shifting to Windows now, mainly because of Unity and such. But it's a fully featured distribution like Ubuntu or something like that of Linux that runs alongside Windows. You don't have to reboot into it or anything like that. It runs concurrently with Windows. It's pretty remarkable. Again, that doesn't have the interactivity. The ones you want are these guys up here. Okay, and there's installation instructions for them, you know, as you do it, okay? So you're gonna have to install that to have RTC Mix running, okay? Then you're gonna have to install Unity, obviously. If you haven't done it already, it's not hard. I would say this Unity Hub is probably the thing to get because it allows you to download different versions of Unity. Unity seems to upgrade their version about every 3 months or so, and it gets kind of annoying after a while. If you go directly to the Unity page, like if you go here, okay, they've changed things a little bit. For example, they have lots of, you're actually looking at the Unity store, and it takes you a real long time to find out where the free version of Unity still exists. They're committed to keeping Unity free. It's a kind of an interesting approach. What you do is you can use Unity for free as long as you don't make a lot of money with it. Once you start using it commercially, then you have to negotiate a license policy with them, and they're very used to doing that, okay? So if you don't want to go through like the pain of trying to figure out where the downloads actually live there, you can just click on this, and that'll take you to this Unity download page, okay? And you can say choose your Unity download Unity hub, okay? If you decide to just choose a standalone Unity, the one to get is, notice that the business comes up first. Individual, you want the personal one because it's free, yeah. And yeah, eligibility, revenue or funding less than 100K in the last 12 months. I'm assuming that none of you have been making $100,000 in the last 12 months on Unity products. Okay, if you are, why are you taking this class? Okay, anyhow, so get that. Like I said, I think it's worthwhile probably getting the Unity Hub. Um, that's what you did, right, Nina? Did you get the hub when you downloaded your Unity? Yeah.
In the beginning, I didn't think so, but then yes, it's comfortable because then you can switch also between the versions of Unity.
Yeah, yeah. So I would say go with this. Bear in mind, these are not tiny. You know, it'll take you a while to download the stuff. I think they're about 1.5 gigabytes or something like that. So, you know, it's going to take a little while. So get that. Now, if you're on a Macintosh, you might want to get Xcode if you haven't already. I don't think you actually need it, you know, to do the compilations and things within Unity, okay? Visual Studio, that's the preferred editor for either Macintosh or Windows. So I'd say download this. It may come with the Unity package. I'm not sure about that. The thing about, the reason is Unity is basically a Windows product. It runs on Macintoshes, but you can't actually run the virtual worlds because Macintosh still doesn't support 3D reality yet. But Visual Studio is set up so that it will do auto completion of function names. You can easily select a function name and hit like dot colon or something like that, and it brings up the documentation page for it. So it's very well integrated in terms of having to do development work with it. So I'd highly recommend getting that. Okay, and then the last thing is to do this roll-a-ball tutorial, okay, if you haven't. They changed it a little bit. I just went through it again the night before last. It's pretty much, it's a very simple little game where you roll this ball around and it collects stuff if you haven't seen it before. It's a good introduction to kind of how you create objects and add functionality to them in Unity. Go through it. There's some things now that they do differently that I will do differently, especially in terms of adding movement to things. I think the way that I do it, which is older, is actually a little bit simpler. They're trying to push this new interactive system that's a little dicey, I think. But anyhow, it's worth going through at least the first few tutorials of it. You know, they're very gentle, very slow. You definitely want to run them at higher speed because they really take their time, you know, talking about this stuff. But it's not a bad way to kind of learn it. You know, plus we're going to be actually doing it here. You'll see how it works. You know, I'm going to kind of take you through like, here's how you set it up, you know, stuff like that. Okay. So that's it. Yeah. Get that done before next time, and life will be pretty fun. Then let me go through the rest of this just to tell you what you're in for. Okay. The second week of this class. Okay. Okay. After you've done all that stuff. So next week, we're going to just create a very, very simple Unity project and show you how to put in RTC mix and make sound with it. Okay. It's we might get a little bit more, you know, that's going to be so simple to do that we probably won't even take the whole class, so we can do a little bit more fun in terms of, you know, exploring a bit more of RTC mix capabilities. I'm assuming that at least half of you don't know anything about RTC mix. You might want to go to rtcmix.org and look at some of the tutorials for it. Or if you download MaxMSP or the PD version, you can look at the help patch, you know, and look at some of the scripts there. But again, we'll take it kind of, you know, pretty slowly, showing this is how we're going to make a sound, you know, this is how we're going to make it up. So some of it's just going to be learning by doing, okay? Then we're going to talk about, you know, it's really important to be able to move around in your scene. So we're going to talk about how we're going to do this. Again, it's going to be different than the roll a ball tutorial, okay? But more importantly, we're going to talk about localization, because that's a big, big thing in terms of using audio in these virtual environments. And we have some specialized localizing stuff. Seth and I have an ongoing argument about whether or not ambisonics is any good. I don't like ambisonics. I like this technique that we've developed, which dates back to the 1980s. So it's a ray tracing where you actually calculate the delay times and such like that from the object. The reason being that that's far more interactive. You know, you can actually take objects and just zip them around, and they're going to continuously calculate their virtual location, you know. So I want to show you how to do that, and we'll kind of fool around with that, okay? Then we're just going to jump right in and have some fun. It used to be that, you know, the first time I tried to offer this class, I said, all right, we're going to make some spheres, then we're going to make some cylinders, then we'll make some octagons, and just kind of build stuff. Anthony's really impressed, I can tell. We can build things up like that. But the fact of the matter is Unity has these amazing tools for doing stuff. So we're just going to show you some of those. Like, here's a terrain builder. Let's make a volcano, And they've also got these like really cool things called particle systems you can have loads of fun with. And I just want to kind of show you some of that stuff. And we're going to talk about how you get interactivity going with those systems, and then with sound that goes along with them. Okay, so that'll be a pretty intense class, I think. Okay, this class, this is the one that that John Levy was talking about. He has an idea for how you can take a sound field and translate it from one location to another, and it has to do with creating like an array of microphones and then recreating that array of microphone with an array of speakers. And he wanted to do that as kind of like a live installation. And I said, well, let's actually do it as a translation into a virtual world. And we're going to try setting up a bunch of different sound producing objects that will then kind of recreate a sound field within a virtual environment and see if it works. I haven't done that yet, so I don't know. It may not work, which is kind of fun about this class, But it's also, I want to talk about the fact that you can have multiple audio processes going on at the same time and how they can interact with each other, okay? And this one I actually have done before. It's an idea based on work that one of our sound art students, Tim Kwasny, has done, where he created this really intense sort of installation where you saw these three rocks, and at one point they were interrupted by this very bright, kind of intense thing, kind of very Tim Kwasny-like stuff. And I looked at it and said, whoa, that'd be really cool, like if it was immersive. So we're gonna, and that also shows you how you can import videos and pictures and things like that and have them running inside Unity, which turns out to be a pretty cool thing to do, okay? Then we're gonna do the Making It Sound Good lecture, where I'm gonna talk about, how you can, take all these different sounds and like add stuff to them and, put on lots of reverb, make it sound good and new agey and, stuff like that, okay? Spring break, Nina's going to talk about her big project. That's going to be fun, okay? Then we're going to spend time talking about Unity on the web, okay? And like I said, this is looking at what you can do to deploy Unity in a web browser. Then we got some special guests, Laura Lewinson, Ethan Edwards, and I may have this one or this one. They may switch around. Nicola has done some interesting work, and I'm going to shoehorn him and his collaborator in here at some point. To talk about the stuff that they've been up to. So yeah, we've got this is all pretty flexible right now, and we'll kind of, let it unfold as we get closer to it. And then we'll do our class presentations and life will be wonderful again. So that's that. Let me stop my share now. And that's pretty much all I had to say for the class. Looks like week 12 is in November. Oh dear, Anthony noticed something. Yeah, I think that was probably a typo. Oh well, I'll go back and fix that. Yeah, is that really true?
It's just the date for week 12 said November 25th.
Well, yeah, we live in a virtual environment, Anthony. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, it's a typo. Okay. Alrighty. Max, you've got a question. Got your hand up.
Yeah. Hey. I was wondering for the virtual, you referred several times to the virtual environment that we'll be creating for the final project. I was curious because Unity is obviously typically used as a gaming development platform. When you're referring to a virtual environment that we'll be creating, is that specifically to be set in a game, ideally?
No. Yeah, actually, that reminds me. I might try and show you something when we'll get the rest of the questions here, and I might try and experiment, and I can show you what I mean. Even though Unity creates games, they don't have to be. This doesn't have to be a game. This can just be, any weird thing. In fact, sometimes you could just create like, let's just go to a place where there's nothing but fireflies all around us, and they're different colors. you know, and they're all going beep, 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 something like that. So it's entirely up to your imagination, you know, how you want to do this. The thing that's fun about Unity is that it can be used to build these kind of immersive experiences, however you want them to be, you know. So
Right.
yeah,
So we could be building like an empty, like 3D world.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to try and show you. I wasn't going to do this, but we got a little bit of time. I think this will work. But first of all, a number of you are on the fence about if you're going to audit or if you want to actually enroll in the class. Send me, send in the chat to me privately how you want to be in this class, because later tonight I'm going to go ahead and go through the wait list and admit everybody into the class who wants to be fully enrolled. So let me know if you want to be fully enrolled. So send me your name, your uni address, you know, and everything like that, and I'll just get that taken care of. Okay. And if there's any problems, you know, we can resolve in the next couple of weeks. I think the last drop add date is a week from Friday or something like that. So yeah, we can work it out. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions or comments or concerns? Anything? Yeah, Max again.
Sorry, I had another question.
Yeah, no problem.
So
that's fine.
Programming, what language will it be? Sorry if I didn't see it before.
Yeah, programming. Okay. This will be a pretty gentle introduction to programming. We'll be doing two different languages, but they're almost identical, and both of them are very closely related to C. RTCMix uses a parser we developed called MinC, which stands for MinC is not C, because it looks like C, but it isn't C. Okay, and back when we were building it, we thought that was really clever because it's a recursive acronym. MinC is not C. MinC is not C. Think about it, okay? Unity uses this weird language that Microsoft came up with, which is used nowhere else that I can determine, except for Unity, called C#, okay? And it's also very C-like. And the programming we're doing is not going to be difficult, you know? It's not going to be too tricky at all. Yeah. Yeah, do you want to see an example of like how we do the programming? Okay. Yeah, if anybody needs to leave, you know, feel free. Here, let me share my screen again, okay? And this time I want to share computer audio with it too. Okay. All right. Okay, so here we go. And again, I won't be able to see you, so, you know, shout out if you want me to say things. Okay, I'm going to open up here. Let me go here. I'm going to open up Max MSP. I'll just use version 7 for now, okay? Come on. Can you guys hear the mechanical sound in the background? Good. Okay, it's slow enough. That's our generator running. Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you. If they all of a sudden fix the power, that means that I will go offline immediately, and I'll have to like relog in. So if all of a sudden this class disappears, just try reconnecting in about 5 minutes. Okay, I forgot to tell you that. Silly me. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create an RTCMix tilde max MSP object. Okay, let me make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. Okay, and I'm going to put up a bang to trigger it. If you don't know max MSP, don't worry about it. Okay, and then I'm going to put up an easy DAC. This is usually the extent of my max MSP programming. Okay, all right. So I'm going to open up RTCMix, and now I'm going to do the programming inside that we need to do. Okay, and I'm going to create a sound using a wavetable. I'll explain this later, okay? It's going to start at time 0. It's going to go for 3.4 seconds. It's going to have an amplitude of 20,000. It's going to be middle C, and that's it, okay? So what I do now is I hit this. Okay, hang on a minute. Do this. Zoom audio device. Okay, so you can hear this? Okay. All right, so basically, this is a function. There's the parameters. Now, the programming we can do is I can do this. I can say start equals 0. Then I can say while start is less than, say, 7, it's going to do stuff. What's it going to do? Well, it's going to play a wavetable at start. It's going to play it for only 0.2 of a second. Okay, and then it's going to say start equals start plus 0.3 of a second. Okay, so I've created a little program. All right, very simple. As long as start is going to start at 0, as long as it's less than 7, it's going to make a note that's 0.2 of a second long, and then it's going to add 0.3 of a second to start and do it again. Is it less than 7? No. Or yes, it'll keep on going. So this then allows me to be a very lazy programmer, and I can make it go. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, so let's say we're going to be more fun. We're going to say frequency, we'll just say free equals IRAN, say 100, 500. I'm going to place this with frequency, okay? So this is going to randomly choose a frequency value between 100 hertz and 500 hertz. So now it's going to sound like real computer music because it'll go like this. Okay? And then the real fun is you make this be less than 70. You don't add 0.2. You make it be only 0.02 of a second long. Okay? And then it sounds like this. Okay, so that's essentially what the programming is going to look like for this class, okay? Let me get rid of this now. You know, very simple looping, very simple kind of calls. And again, I have not explained at all, you know, what any of those parameters were or anything like that. And we'll be taking time going through saying, well, this is what a wavetable does. This is how you can use it. And this is how you get rid of those annoying clicks that were at the beginning and the end of the wavetable, things like that. So if you're feeling comfortable with looking at that, you should have no trouble with the class, I don't think. Okay, all righty. Okie doke. Here, let me show you one more thing. I'm not sure if this will work or not, okay? But I'm actually intrigued to try it. This will be the last thing I do, okay? I might have to, like, you won't be able to hear me for a second, okay? I'm gonna try a few things here. Let me check here, okay? Sound, system audio. So I may be silent here for a minute, okay? Okay. Hold on a minute.
There is a question in the chat. Where is the
Okay.
difference between Max and PD?
Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. The difference between Max and PD is that Max is much more robust. It was taken on as a commercial product and it is now marketed actually by Ableton now. It's very, it's got a lot of documentation. It's got, like, you know, an order of magnitude more objects and stuff, although we only use one. So functionally for this class, there's not really that big a difference. The biggest difference is that the PD object, I just finished that this summer and it's still got some bugs. So it'll crash. there's problems with the editor for it, and I'll have to kind of show you how to kind of negotiate that. But both the RTCMix tilde runs on both Windows and OS X versions of these programs, so it should work for you okay. All right. All right. So you can hear me, right? Okay. I am going to try to, I'm going to stop my share. I'm going to start sharing my screen. And I'm going to try and show you a project, okay? Let me stop this, okay? And this is the part I hope will work. You can still hear me now, right? Okay. All right. Hang on a second. Let's see now. Share screen, basic, share computer sound, desktop 1. Okay, now you can still hear me, correct? Okay, all right. Now let's see if you can hear this. This may or may not work, okay? I'm going to use pretty low resolution here. Can you see that? That's not working. Okay, let me show you though. This is an example. I'm going to explain what these are later. Okay. Can you still hear me okay? Can you hear the music? Okay, this is actually the backyard of a place where I used to live. Okay. Let me get out of here. Let's go in the secret portal. Here we go. Okay, this is the heavy metal cave. Get out of there, okay? I'm going to take you one other place. Okay? You hear that old sound? Okay, this is the view of where I'm living right now at night. That's beautiful sound. Around and we can see other stuff. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm going to stop. Okay. All right. Max, that was an example. That was a big project. I'll put a link to it that I did. It's called My Places, and basically these are places that are important to me as a person. And you go in and you can like hear music and stuff like that. But they're not a game at all. There's no object to it. You just kind of explore around and get a kick out of these things. The reason I stopped it is because it sounded terrible. All that stuff you heard going kind of like that. That's not how it's supposed to sound. The problem is, and I thought I had found a solution to solve it, is that Unity works at 44.1K sampling rate. Zoom refuses to accept anything other than 48K. And what you were hearing is a sampling rate mismatch where the buffers were misaligned. Like I said, I thought I had it fixed. I'm trying different ways of doing sampling rate conversions from one to the other. And hopefully I'll be able to get this fixed pretty well. The other thing that Unity doesn't do is that I have a very old version of Unity, of Zoom, is I have a very old version of Zoom because the newer versions of Zoom will not play computer sound in stereo. And that's really annoying for people that are trying to do work with, say, stereo localization, right? So the version that I use on my Macintosh, 5.0.2, does allow me to do things in stereo. So yeah, hopefully I'll get this other problem fixed and we'll be able to do that, okay? They fixed that in a really good way. Oh, did they now? I heard they did, but I tried it out and that didn't seem like it was fixed. Okay, this is 5.5 or something like that. Okay, yeah, I'm reading a message from Anthony. Yeah, okay, I'll check that out because that's pretty great if that's true. Okay, So Nicola, you've also broadcast stereo properly? Wow. Okay. I will. I'll look into it. Seth and I are both very interested in this, as are a number of other people. Anyhow, but I'll put a link into that project. It's, like I said, it's huge to download, but it's kind of fun. You know, you can go around and see where I used to live in New Jersey. It's all magical. Go through the portals; they're fun. You can go to Switzerland and hike around, you know, and hear like those Alpenhorns in the distance, going Alpenhorn things, you know, and yeah, fun stuff like that. So, okay, I'll definitely check that out, Anthony. That's intriguing. Okay. All right, gang. Well, that's all I have for today. Again, any other questions or concerns? And yeah, I'll look and see. I'll go ahead and start setting people into the class to be fully enrolled. And if you wanted to be enrolled and you don't see the notice that you've been admitted from the wait list, drop me an email so I can make sure and get you fully enrolled in the class. And other than that, I'll wait and see you all next time.